Today, we qualify for the Champions League. Hopefully. Hello and welcome to Club 5, part 14 of Nod Me to Legend. That's getting complicated now. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we have some games. I don't know how many we're going to have. We're going to keep playing them until we qualify for the Champions League, or we'll play at least two. I mean, if we qualify for the Champions League right now against Tottenham, we'll still play Man United, but we probably won't do that West Ham game. So, if you're trying to guess whether or not we go up based on how long the episode is, don't worry. If it ends up super long, I'll break the habit of a lifetime and edit the matches down just to make sure it's not like a 30-minute episode. I don't want spoilers through episode length. See? Kev, always thinking. So, the run-in, Tottenham, Man United, both at home, then West Ham. The league table looks like this, and we are in a very strong position. We've got games in hand over everybody below us, and this first game in hand is against the team directly below us. No, they were directly below us before Liverpool played, I guess. Tottenham were 4th at the start of the day. They're now down in 5th place. But if we beat them, that means they'll only have one game left, and they'll be 7 points behind us. Even a draw, they'll have one game left, and it'll be a 4-point gap. So, actually, no, Man City will still have a game in hand. A draw doesn't necessarily get us there. A win will definitely qualify us for the Champions League. A draw might, depending on the outcome of the Man City-Huddersfield game tomorrow. I think Man City would be the only team who could catch us if we draw. So, in theory, we're all but there. And we still have 2 games left as well if we mess up completely today. But, you know what I'm like. We'll probably do it in the 85th minute against West Ham because that's how Kev rolls. So this is going to be the team for the Tottenham game. We've got Svilar in goal, a back four of Leo, Panzo, Oliveira and Ralston, with Portanova, Marco and Suto in midfield, and then Onomar in behind, Gwindal and an injured Jonathan Miller, but he's not that injured. He's got, I mean, like a poorly belly button, basically. In fact, he's turned into Iron Man. He's got his power in his chest. He's also got an injured leg. Hang on, what's the actual injury? Tight calf. So what's this? What's wrong here? I don't understand what's wrong with this area. We don't even get a clue about that. I don't know how this screen works, really. He's had a lot of injuries. Goodness me. So he had a... Oh, no, he's injured with a pulled abdominal muscle. But he also... Oh, he's got a recurring tight calf. Okay, that's fine. So it's a pulled abdominal muscle he's got. He's not turned into Iron Man. Let's get into the game and hopefully book our space in next season's Champions League. And assuming we do qualify for the Champions League, we're then going to have a decision to make. Because I said 3 or 4 episodes ago now, probably, that the plan was qualify for the Champions League and then see what other clubs are available and see if we can move on the basis of, look, I came to Leicester, who were relegation threatened, and we're now in the Champions League for only the 2nd time in the club's history, I guess it is. Aren't I great? Give me a job, Man United or Arsenal or Barcelona or Bayern Munich or whoever it might be. But there's always that temptation of having a little go at a season in the Champions League. But then we've been in nearly 2 years now. We joined Leicester 3 games into the start of last season. So we've had almost 2 full seasons. We've completely revolutionised the way the team play to make them really boring, and we're boring but winning. Anyone who follows me on Twitter, ignore the rant I had about Posh's new manager yesterday afternoon, which was something along the lines of, I don't subscribe to this win at all costs boring football but it gets results nonsense, because it's exactly what I'm doing here with Leicester. I'm well aware of the irony of it, but at the same time, I don't want to do it next season. I want to either play a more attacking version of football here but risk getting sacked, and taking an attacking version of football into the Champions League is a really bad idea. Or failing that, I want to move on to a club where I'm going to have a better squad of players at my disposal, where I can play that more attacking football and get some excitement back into the matches themselves. I think the story is really strong. The matches can be a little bit dull at times. We're not getting the 5-3s and the 6-4s that we're getting back in the Borough, or that we were getting in this series earlier on at some of the other clubs. We're too efficient. I've built too strong a defensive unit. So we're 1-0 up anyway. There was a goal while I was rabbiting on, and we're 1-0 up after 24 minutes. I think we scored in the 8th minute, so settle a few nerves early on, and Panzo intercepts, and it's Guindal with the chance to set Miller free, but instead it goes to Portanova, and Onomar's made the run through and forces a save out of the Spurs keeper. A defeat here against us basically ruins Tottenham's chances of Champions League qualification. With one game left, they'll be behind Liverpool, and they'll also have Man City breathing down their neck, just 1 point behind them with a game in hand on them. So I guess you would make Man City the favourites for that 4th spot if they win the game against, did we say Huddersfield tomorrow? Obviously, if they don't beat Huddersfield, then Liverpool move into pole position. And I don't know what's going on. I think they're the only 3. Because, no, Brighton can't catch Liverpool. So Brighton are not in the race anymore. Chelsea pretty much aren't involved in this either. It's between us, Liverpool, Tottenham and Man City. But we're well in pole position because at the moment we're 6 points clear of Liverpool with a game in hand. So we would be there if everything ended as it is right now, which would be awesome. Right, let's have another goal. I want to really confirm this today so that we can go and play Man United and not have to worry about the fact that they're going to thump us. Guindal's in and forces another save out of whatever their keeper's called. It begins with a C. I didn't read it at the time, and now I'm really regretting it because for some reason decided to bring up his name even though I knew I didn't know it. It's the nerves getting the best of me. We're completely in control of this game. I'm going to be disgusted if we concede here. And Svilla collects nicely. How long do we leave Jonathan Miller on for? We've got Cesar on the bench. We've got Gardner on the bench. Either of them could come on and play that role perfectly adequately. But then Miller's just got a poorly tummy, basically. That's all a torn abdominal muscle is. He's got a poorly tummy. And I think he can play today. And even if he doesn't play against Man United or West Ham because of it, he's not going to miss much of pre-season. Or he's not going to miss any of pre-season, even if he re-tears it. He'll just miss his trip to Benidorm. And I've made it clear before, I'm not bothered if my players can go to Benidorm or not. Right. Onomar is coming off for Edwards. We're going to take Miller off for Cesar. And we'll take Marco off for Storaro. Easy peasy. Swap those 2 over and continue about our business. We will drop down to defensive with about 10 minutes to go, as has been fairly common on the boring Leicester grinding out a 1-0 run that we've been on. And then with about 5 minutes to go, we're going to drop back to contain. And now we're just going to sit and cross our fingers and hope that Tottenham don't find a way back into this. No, it's not even back into this game. Hope they don't find a way into this game. They have never been in this game. We've been in complete control all the way through, but we haven't managed to find that second goal. And that does give me the heebie-jeebies a little bit. But I think with 15 seconds to go and us in control of the ball, we should be just about there. And I think Leicester City are about to become a Champions League football club. And I'm fairly confident saying for only the second time in their history, which makes me like the second best manager Leicester have ever had. And you know what? I think that's fair. Have we qualified? Have we qualified? Oh, we've qualified, and then there's budgets as well. That's how much money they're going to be. How much money they give me is going to have a massive impact on whether I stay or look for a new job immediately. So we've qualified for the Champions League. We'll have a look in a second to see if I've made it onto the favoured personnel list, because I blooming should have done. And they've given, I mean, that's not enough money for a Champions League campaign. They've given me less. I'm sure that's far less wage budget than I had last summer to work with. I think I had £3 million a week to work with before. So they've basically set my wage budget at what we're currently spending, given me almost no transfer budget. I know we're a little bit overdrawn, but we've got Champions League money coming in now. We're not hemorrhaging money. We're just staying about £50 million overdrawn. Surely a club makes 50 million quid from being in the Champions League that's not being factored into account there. They should be throwing some cash at me. What's available? Why is all this on? I doubt there's anything available at all at this point. It's going to be stuff in the summer that we need to look at. We could go to Berwick in Scottish League 2. We're probably not going to go to Berwick. What we are going to do is finish this season off by playing Manchester United. And then for the first time in as long as I can remember, we won't bother showing the last game in the season. Because what's the point? We'll just do Man United and then we might, and this really does depend on the snow situation. Don't know if it's snowing where you are. It's snowing where I am as I record this on Wednesday. If the snow is cleared and the kids are at school on Friday, there will be a transfer window stream on Friday morning. If the kids are off school, there won't be. So you just have to keep an eye on my Twitter for that. But that'll be for the summer transfer window. So we'll see. Who knows? Let's play Man United. I'm shuffling things around a little bit for the Man United game because, I mean, it's an absolute nothing game. We're guaranteed third place. Nobody can go past us. We can't catch Arsenal in second place. It's the weirdest dead rubber in history. United have all but won the league. I'll probably get fined for not fielding my best team, although you could argue that this is a perfectly acceptable team to put out there. So we're trying Panzo at left back again because it allows me to get Kostic into the team. Panzo's just been called up to England's World Cup squad. He hasn't played for England before, but we've got 4 goalkeepers going to the World Cup, which I thought was interesting. Svilar, Kalasic and Freiberg, both in the Sweden squad, and then Billy Murray, who, I mean, he came in on a free last summer, I think, and he's like our 5th choice keeper. But 4 keepers at the World Cup. The only one who isn't is the one who I was bigging up in January, who, I guess Peru didn't qualify for the World Cup because he is their 1st choice keeper. Ralston is, no, he doesn't come in at right back. He was already in, wasn't he? I've already given up on Danilo because he won't play for us again now. He'll be back at Arsenal and then released, presumably. Almeida comes back into midfield with Onomar on the right-hand side of midfield and Suto moving over to the left-hand side. And then I've brought Gardner in up front because there's no point playing Miller when he's not fully fit. We're just going to end up hurting the poor boy. So I'll play Gardner today and I'll probably play Cesar on the last game against West Ham, which again is going to be an absolute nothing game for us. The only thing we can do, I mean, the one good thing that can come out of this game is that we can spoil Man United's Premier League winners party for an afternoon, for an evening, for whatever it might be. If we beat them, it gives a little glimmer of hope to Arsenal, I think. Or does it? Hang on, if we beat them, they're on 82 points. No, Man United have already won the league. So this is a dead rubber for both of us. They've already won the league. We've already finished 3rd. We should both just be playing our youth teams. We should have agreed in advance that we were going to play our youth teams and just have a little look to see what we've got. And that West Ham game, yeah, they're not playing for nothing at all as well because they can't get relegated. They can't move into that top half of the table. So 2 fairly meaningless games to finish the season off. It would be nice to beat United and just send a message out there saying, look, just keep an eye on Leicester next year. We've not finished that far away this season in 3rd place. Champions League, all those Champions League monies. Think of all the players we're going to bring in to strengthen this squad. We're going to be a force next year. Well, in actual fact, we all know how this works. We're probably going to have to sell our 3 best players. There's already been offers come in for Portanova, who he was too good for us when we signed him. The fact he was on the transfer list at Juventus didn't really make sense. He's now been called up into Italy's World Cup squad. I would suggest we're going to struggle to keep hold of Portanova. We might struggle to keep hold of Panzo if he goes to the World Cup and plays with England. I think we'll struggle to keep hold of him. Jonathan Miller, although he's not been called up for the World Cup, I think we'll struggle to keep hold of him. I think someone will come. He's still only 21, 22. I think some big club will come in and offer us money that we can't turn down. And if you take those, or even 2 of those 3 players away, it just completely rips the heart out of our team and we'll just become a mid-table team again. So, this summer's going to be a big one. I hope the snow clears up so that we can go through the trauma of this summer together. Because, of course, the other thing that might be happening over the course of the summer, it's officially going to be a transfer window live stream. It won't necessarily be at Leicester. If a better job becomes available, we could end up doing a live job move on Friday morning if I'm able to stream it live. It's a big, big if at the moment because as I sit here right now, I've got my door open so I can see through the little window at the end there, and it's like a blizzard out there. If you've seen on Instagram the picture of me after I'd been out in the snow for like an hour and I just had completely grey hair, grey beard. It's like that now again. I don't think there's much chance of a stream, but you never know. Lukaku equalises just before half time, and no one cares. Absolutely no one cares. We're going to be playing in the Champions League. Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah! I could probably sit and read a book while we have a look to see what happens in this game. Has anyone got a book? I've got those books behind me, but I have to put the green screen down to get to them. Could check my texts or something. Watched any good films lately? Let me know down in the comments. Who are you watching on YouTube at the moment? You enjoying Second Yellow Card being back? I am. That's good, isn't it? If you didn't know he was back, Second Yellow Card's back. Go watch him. Yeah. Cross went nowhere. Again, nobody cared. And have we got anything exciting we can do on the bench? We could bring Aravalo on at right back. I mean, he's probably going to be... He'll be one of our 2 right backs next year. It'll be him and Ralston fighting it out for the right back spot next year. We're not going to bother. Certainly won't try and sign Danilo permanently. I think his Arsenal contract is up in the summer. I've got no interest in bringing him in permanently. So we'll just... I think Aravalo can he play as an attacking midfielder as well? Interesting. So why have I been training him to be a right back? Why does it keep changing to wing back? My assistant manager meddles. But we'll try him as an attacking midfielder then. Why not? A man of many talents. Suto doesn't Suto. Playing as a Carolero, he's much better as a Mazzala. So bring Marco on for him. Get more. The more game time we can get into Marco, the better. He's gradually improving. The more game time we give him. Remember, this kid has got massive potential. It was just all wasted by being in the Barcelona reserves. But I think, especially if Portanova moves on, next season could be a massive, massive season for what's his face, Marco. Right, left back. Bring Leo on. Take Oliveira off. That's probably going to be the last you see of Oliveira. I think his contract's up in the summer. It's not. We've got another year of paying that old man. I'm going to try and move him on in the summer, or at the very least sign a replacement. Kostic and Panzo are good, but they're both left-sided centre-backs, and they are literally, apart from Oliveira, the only 2 we've got. So I don't want those to be our first choice next year. Panzo obviously will be first choice, but we need to sign someone who can play alongside him in place of Oliveira, because I think probably having that old man back there has caused us more problems than I care to admit this season. And Svilar just absolutely in no man's land there. And I mean, Man United are going to beat us. It doesn't matter. They've already won the league. They've won the league in all but one of the seasons of non-league to legend so far this year. I think there was 1 year Man City wrestled the title away from them. But pretty much every season, Man United win the league. And if they're the team that are going to come to our place and thump us after we've already qualified for the Champions League, that doesn't matter to anyone. We'll just go and lose to them again in the Champions League final next year. Or perhaps Jose Mourinho will retire and I can go and manage them. That would be... I mean, talk about poison chalice. I'd go there and not win the league. I need 3 years to turn this team into properly competitive in the Kev style. Kev, they won the league 5 years in a row. I need 3 years! Right. Man United... Oh, so they hadn't already won the Premier League. Oh, I think they must have done. My maths tells me they must have done. But they have won it against us. Who cares? We've finished 3rd. Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. We're in the Champions League next year. And hopefully you'll be able to see me prepare for that tomorrow morning about 9:30ish. Like I say, as I'm recording this on Wednesday, there's just no way of me knowing if it's going to happen or not. So my only suggestion is follow me on Twitter. I'm Lollujo on there as well. Just follow me over on Twitter and I'll let you know on there if I'm going to do it or not. It's all I can suggest. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much for watching.